All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Rams Faithful. I'm your host, James Torillo. No Jordan this week, unfortunately, but we have some better news. Jordan is out for a very good reason. He will be out this week and next week, but it's okay because Jordan is getting married. Congratulations to Jordan. Very happy for you, dude. Jordan is a huge part of this show. This show would not exist without Jordan, so he's just phenomenal. He knows his stuff. He knows ball. He's a huge Rams fan. So if you want to hear some more of him, make sure you stay tuned because he will be back soon. But for now, it is just me, and next week it'll be just me because he's going on his honeymoon. So congratulations to Jordan once again. But let's talk Rams football because the Rams just got a big wake up call, as you saw by the title of this video. We got a big wake up call, man. Rams Panthers. We're gonna go over the film right now. Look, I'm not gonna be the kind of guy, or at least I'm gonna try not to be the kind of guy who just, um, screams and gets mad because we lost the game. Did I break my TV remote over this game? Absolutely. But look, I'm gonna be honest. The Rams needed this. They needed this wake up call because I can't. I apologize for not being able to give credit to the right person on this one, but I saw some analysts say this couldn't have been a better thing for the Rams because of the wake up call that they needed. Because the whole world is saying, "Oh, the Rams are the best team in football." Everyone's kissing your butt, saying you're the best team in football. Stafford's the MVP. Which, hey, is it true? Probably, but now they come out here, they probably underestimate a team like the Carolina Panthers, who are now 7-6 and just a game out of first in the NFC South. They probably underestimate them, and they get outplayed. They go on the road and they get outplayed. You see Matthew Stafford throws a touchdown pass to Davante Adams here. He gets 2 touchdowns in this game. Uh, man, this was just this was brutal because I'm gonna be honest. I didn't turn the game on. I was helping my mom with something. I didn't turn the game on until literally less than 3 minutes into the game. It was already 7-0 Rams. So I'm thinking, all right, this might be an easy one. No, I I I think a lot of people. I was off by a week in what I thought was. I guess a lot of people like to call it a trap game, but just because you lose a game you're supposed to win doesn't make it a trap game. Let's stop. I thought the Rams are going to lose to the Bucks. I thought that was going to be their. I don't believe in trap games, but if there was going to be a trap game, I thought it was going to be against Tampa Bay. I thought it was going to be similar to the game when they won the Super Bowl a few years ago and they lost to Tennessee during the regular season. I thought the Tampa Bay game was going to be that kind of thing, but I am glad it wasn't. They ended up dominating the Bucks, but I was off by a week. They ended up losing to the Panthers. Stafford throws 2 picks. Of course, after he throws the first touchdown pass, you see all this stuff on social media saying, "Oh, look, Stafford throws 28 straight touchdown passes without a pick. He's unbelievable." Which, great, he is. And then, of course, he throws a pick on the next 2 drives in a row. Chuba Hubbard, by the way, cooked us in this game. I'm just putting that out there. He cooked us. We could not stop their run game whatsoever. Chuba Hubbard was great, so was Rico Dowdle. Blake Corum had a very good game. I'm not sure what the stats were on his game or his performance exactly, but he had a very nice game. He had a good amount of touches for the Rams. Stafford didn't have his best game, but Davante Adams did. Davante Adams had a great game. There's another big gain for him here in the first quarter before he got a second touchdown of the game. He was phenomenal. Um, right here is where you think the Rams are just going to go down the field and get the lead right back, but unfortunately on 3rd and 6, goes off the helmet of Brown up in the air, and former Ram Nick Scott picks it off for Carolina, and they get the ball back. That was a huge momentum swing right there. And right there was when you kind of knew, not that you knew they were going to lose the game, but you knew, all right, this isn't going to be as easy as we thought. Let's go. Let's lock in. Bryce Young, I I don't mean to sound like one of those LeBron lying memes or where he just makes stuff up to make it sound like he like predicts the future, but I was always very pro Bryce Young. The fact that like the last 2 years in Carolina were not his fault that the team was so trash. I think he's a good player. He just needs a little bit around him, and I think he proved that again this week. He's had a few really good games this year, and I think he's a pretty good quarterback. Matt Stafford throws another pick. This one is a pick 6, and he gets decked too, which originally they called a block in the back, and they picked up the flag and they called it a touchdown, which kind of sucked. Hey, he's going for Puka here on the out route around the 50-yard line. It gets picked off. And like I said right here, they say there's no foul for the blindside block. By the way, after this, I put on my Rams Santa hat, and I put it on when we were down 14-7. Final score is 31-28. So technically, with the Rams hat on, they outscored the Panthers. So you guys let me know down below. Should I wear the Rams hat next week? Because they lost, but they outscored the Panthers when I had it on. So they outscored them. Let me do the math here. 21-17 with the hat on. So do I keep the hat on for next week? I put it on for the episode because, like, why not? I've had this since I was a little kid, by the way. The St. Louis Rams Santa hat. I saw one in the store a few weeks ago that was, like, obviously their new colors and their new logo. But I was like, nah, I gotta stick with the hat I've had since I was, like, 6. I think that's actually how long I've had this. Colby Parkinson had a nice game, by the way. He has to step up with Higbee out. Here's Davante Adams in the end zone for the second time. He ties the game. That was huge. I haven't seen a guy gritty in forever. But yeah, that was huge. Davante Adams has been such a great pickup, and I hate to admit it because I'm such a pro Cooper Kupp guy. But Davante Adams was a great pickup. Bryce Young, I just this play pissed me off so bad. They had 8 guys here lined up behind the line of scrimmage. They had 5 guys on the line, 3 guys behind them. All 8 fell for that fake handoff or the fake pitch that he did in the backfield. It's either Hubbard or Dowdle. I forget who was back there. And then he rolls out for like 30-something yards. The defense just didn't look sharp. The defense did not look sharp. Obviously, there was a pick 6, so they didn't give up all 31 points. They gave up 24. But still, when you're one of the best defenses in the league, should you be giving up 24 points to the Panthers? Probably not. But, man, there's just so many things during this game where you could say, oh, well, if this didn't happen, that the game could have gone a different way. But unfortunately, they did happen. Jared Verse really close here to getting another sack. Bryce Young scrambles out of there. So we end up holding them to 3. So that was big. And then we get the ball right before halftime with a chance to take the lead. But the Rams shouldn't be losing this game at this point. They shouldn't be. And, I think the thing that worries me the most is that this is a great ball by Stafford in between the 3 defenders. Great ball, great route by Xavier Smith. That was behind Puka's unbelievable catch. This was probably the play of the game for us. We'll get to Puka's catch in a little bit. That comes in the fourth quarter. So stick around if you want to see that. Kyren Williams takes a big hit but gets the first down. Kyren had a pretty good game as well. A lot of people complaining on why he didn't get more touches and why Blake Corum was getting so many touches, but this is why. Blake Corum right here, great second effort, finds his way into the end zone, touchdown LA. Rams take the lead before the half. You guys know I'm a Michigan fan, so I am a huge Blake Corum guy. I loved him as a Wolverine, loved when we drafted him 2 seasons ago or 2 drafts ago, whatever you want to call it. Loved that pickup. But the Rams do end up getting a stop here right before the half. They hold the Panthers to no points. So they go into the half with the lead when it feels like they're not winning. They are. But you have that feeling in your gut that's like this is gonna be tough. It wasn't the same as like week 2 against the Titans where we go into the half trailing by 3. You kind of knew that they were gonna make halftime adjustments and come out of there with the win. This one felt a little different. Like, I don't know what to expect. Almost that kind of feeling. And so we get to the third quarter, 4th and 3. Really tough break for Forbes right here. He gets burnt on the right side. Can't make the tackle. Coker's in. Touchdown, Carolina. This was a tough break. I mean, the 2 different times this game, Forbes got beat on the Panthers going for it on 4th down and ended up being a touchdown. That's a 14-point swing right there. So not putting any blame on Forbes, obviously, but obviously a tough break, something you can't really afford to happen in a close game like this, and then he doesn't come up with the tackle there. Great ball by Bryce Young, though. Got to give him credit. Panthers up 3 here. Rams with the ball in the third quarter. That's not what you need. That's the one thing about Stafford and his as he's getting older that he's not exactly too mobile in the pocket to say the least. So he suffers a sack right there, incomplete to Davante Adams. Rams have to punt. Panthers 3rd and 3. Chuba Hubbard, he had a great game. I'll tell you, he had a great game. He was phenomenal. So I'm not worried. Am I mad they lost? Yeah, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like their chances of the 1 seed are over or that, the season's cooked. It's not. The odds of the Rams finishing, they were 9-2 going in yesterday. The odds of them finishing 15-2, I'm not saying it was impossible. I'm not saying they couldn't have done it, but that's hard. That's very hard to do. Go 15-2, two losses all year, especially when you were 3-2. To finish 15-2 is very difficult. I'm not going to say they were due for a loss, but if they were going to lose a game, I'd rather them drop it now than in January or February, right? So Blake Corum, another big run here. Like I said, big Blake Corum guy. Big Blake Corum guy. Just a all-around great game from him. We're in the fourth quarter now, 2nd and 5 for LA. I believe that's Corum once again. Or is that Kyron? That's Kyron. Right here on 2nd and 10, I believe this is the play to Puka. The little stop and go. Oh my goodness, what a catch. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Gets him inside the 10. That's the catch of the year. And someone on Washington, I believe it was, or Denver, made a really nice catch in that game on Sunday night, but I think Puka's catch was better. That catch was unbelievable. Kyron runs it into the end zone. Rams have the lead. So Rams have the lead with less than 10 minutes to go. Stafford's hype. You're thinking, all right, maybe that's the dagger right there. You know, but Panthers aren't going away easy, Bryce Young, I gotta give the kid credit. I don't know why I'm calling him a kid when he's older than me, but I gotta give him credit. He fought back right here, 4th and 2. They go for it on 4th down again, and Forbes gets beat right here. It's the second time in the second half that they go for it on 4th and short, and they end up coming away with 7 points on that play. So the Rams get a stop on one out of 2 of those plays. It doesn't even have to be both, just 1 out of 2. They end up winning this game. Unfortunately, they do not get a stop on either, and they end up losing the game 31-28. There wouldn't be any more scoring after this. So McMillan goes into the end zone. Panthers have the lead. Rams are going to drive. Hey, there's no other QB in the league you'd rather have on this drive right here than Matthew Stafford. Unfortunately, it didn't end the way a normal Matthew Stafford game-winning drive would end. Big completion to Davante Adams. The one thing that I will say on that play is what Cooper Kupp would have done better is that he would have gone up the field more and got more yards. Davante Adams just went right out of bounds after he caught it. But I'm not going to sit here and bash Davante Adams after he had a great game. I really like Davante. But right there was the dagger. Stafford fumbles the ball on 3rd and 10. Even if you take a sack there, the Rams still have life. You can kick the game-tying field goal with your new kicker. But right there, he turns it over, and the Panthers just need a 1st down to end the game. So that was brutal. And like I said, they only needed a 1st down to end the game. What do? 3rd and 5. You got a guy wide open in the middle of the field, and that's the game. So the Rams would come up short and fall to 9-3. It is just very, very frustrating because you're better than them. It's one of those things where in sports, you can beat a team that you're better than or not better than, and you're happy about it. But the second you lose to a team that you're better than, we all know the Rams are better than the Panthers. Rams didn't play a great game. The Rams didn't play their best football. At their best, the Rams are miles better than the Panthers. We know that, and that's not me coping with the fact that we lost to them. I think we can all agree on that, right? It hurts when you lose to a team that you can beat and that you should beat. And honestly, I think all 3 Rams losses this year were like that. I think we're better than the Eagles. I think we're better than the 49ers. We proved that the second time we played them. And we're definitely better than the Panthers. I mean, these aren't games that the Rams should be losing, It's a shame because this team shouldn't be 9-3. They should be better than that, but who am I to sit here and complain about a 9-3 record, right? So the Rams come up short in this one, but I want to take a look. I'm going to share with you guys in just about 2 seconds the standings in the Rams division. I mean, it is unbelievable how close these division races are in the NFL right now. I mean, you look at the Rams division. Here's what I'm worried about. Rams are 9-3, Seahawks are 9-3, Niners are 9-4, and then the Cardinals are eliminated. We play the Cardinals this upcoming Sunday. Here's what I'm worried about. It is not impossible for the Rams to come in 3rd place in the division. That's the only thing. I don't mean to see like sound like I'm overreacting. This is the AFC. Let's go to the NFC. I don't mean to sound like I'm overreacting, but Do I think the Rams are going to come in third? No. No, I don't. But is it impossible? No, unfortunately not. Because let's say hypothetically, no, I don't think this will happen. I think the Rams will bounce back and beat the crap out of the Cardinals this Sunday. But let's say the Rams lose to either Seattle, or they lose to Detroit, or they lose to a pretty good team that they have to play still. Let's say they drop two more games and they finish the season 12-5. Are we sure the Seahawks and Niners are both going to finish under 12-5? I mean, let's be realistic. Let's take a look at some schedules here while we're at it, right? I see a win against the Titans. I think we can all agree on that. And look, I hate the 49ers. I don't like to say that they're going to win any games, but I see a win against the Titans. I'm not a big fan of how the Colts have been playing. They've lost 3 of their last 4. I'm going to give the Niners a win there, December 22nd. Then we got Niners Bears. At home, I'm going to give the Niners a win. And then the Niners and Seahawks battle it out the last game of the season. I'm going to give Seattle a win. So I'm going to say the Bears, or not the Bears, excuse me, the 49ers lose 1 of their last 4 games. They have a bye this week. So I'm going to say the 49ers finish 12-5. So that gives the Rams a little bit of breathing room, but not much. You can only lose 1 more game if you want to finish ahead of the 49ers. Let's go to the Seahawks. Seahawks have Atlanta. That's a win. They have the Colts. That's a win. They got the Rams. I'm going to say that's a win for Seattle. And look, I'm not gonna sit here and act like, oh, the world's coming to an end because the Rams lost 1 game to the Panthers. It's not what I'm doing. But I can very well see the Seahawks winning out the rest of the way, and they finish 14-3. But you got to keep in mind, this game right here, I don't know if you guys can see my cursor on my screen, but this game right here, guys, against the Seahawks in week 16 against Seattle, this game right here, that is for the division. If the Rams lose this game, they will not win the division. I'm just putting that out there right now. Thursday Night Football, December 18th, mark your calendars. That's for the division. If the Rams win this game, they will win the division, no doubt in my mind. If the Rams lose this game, it will be between the Seahawks and Niners in Week 18 when the Seahawks and Niners play each other. That game will be for the division. So if the Rams lose that game, this game is for the division. If the Rams win, then they are going to win the division. You guys get what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm worried, but I would say I'm more worried than I was the week before because I don't think you can really afford to drop a loss to the Panthers. I'm not going to lie. I know I said it was a wake-up call. I'm glad they got that wake-up call. I'd rather them lose now than get that wake-up call against Seattle or Detroit in a game that they need to win more. But it's just hard when you lose a game that you know you should win. So we're going to take another look at the standings. Go to the NFC. The Cowboys are only a game and a half out of first, but I don't see the Eagles not winning that division. I'm going to say, here, let's say here. The Eagles, let's go through their last few games, right? I'm going to say it's a loss to the Chargers, win, win, loss, win. So 2 more losses, they finish 11-6, right? Cowboys. Thursday night, Cowboys at Lions. Give me the Lions. The loss, win, win. So 2 losses. The Cowboys finished 9-7-1. So they're probably not going to make the playoffs. The Cowboys are pretty much going to have to win out if they want to make the playoffs, right? I got the Eagles winning that division at 11-6. Bears, Packers. Packers a half a game behind. They play them this week. They play them 2 more times still. I think Green Bay wins that division. I do. And I think if we're the Rams and the Packers beat the Bears, let's say the Rams beat the Cardinals and the Packers beat the Bears, the Rams are going to have sole possession of that first seed in the NFC, and they're going to have a bye. The Bucs are probably going to win that division. They're a half a game ahead of the Panthers for first. I think they're going to win that division. Honestly, in the NFC West, man, it's going to be a bloodbath, and there's going to be a team that comes in third that's going to have like 12 wins. I'm telling you right now. It's going to happen. The Niners could very well finish 12-5 or 11-6. 11-6 is a very good record. that would have been first place in the NFC West last year because the Rams were in first place last year at 10-7. The Niners could finish 11-6 and be in third place. They could miss the playoffs. That's how stacked the NFC is this year. I think the Seahawks finish. I'll say the Seahawks finish 13-4. I'll say the Rams finish 13-4. The Rams win the division. The Niners finish 12-5. They come in third. They get a last wild card spot. That's my prediction. I'll say the Rams drop one more, but they have to beat Seattle. That's going to be the game, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be the game of the year. Everyone was saying last time they played, oh, this is going to be the game of the year. No, this is going to be the game of the year in Seattle, where the Rams take a trip to Lumen Field, and they need a win. They need it. They need it bad. That's going to be for the division right there. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap it up for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Go Rams. We'll be back next week. And in 2 weeks, Jordan and I will be back. So stay tuned. Subscribe here for more content. Follow my TikTok, Jay Torillo. Follow my Instagram, James.Torillo. And if you want to follow this podcast's Instagram account, it is Rams Faithful Pod on Instagram. Thank you guys so much. Horns up, and we'll see you next time.